Hey you guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and as you guys can see by the title, I am going to be talking about how the narcissist will accuse you of doing things that they are doing to you. The narcissist will accuse you of the things that they are doing to you. So I'm going to be sharing my personal experience. I've talked a lot about karma. You know, what you put out is what you get. A lot of times these relationships, you already know when you look back that you did certain things that led you to these people. And then a perception that we also have, because we are sinners, right, is we get stuck even in a victim mentality, right? And it's okay to grieve. It's okay to go through the loss, the understanding, and also be aware that if you are still thinking about the things that you lost in the physical realm, then your faith in God is not completely there yet, right? Because you're worried about the physical realm, you're worried about money, you're worried about the wrong things when your frequency is not even where it's supposed to be. You're in a battle even with yourself, and then you're even frustrated because you're in this self-conflict battle with yourself. And I know this because I spent years reflecting on what happened, and the hate, you become hateful, you start almost hating everything. You want to be alone, you become antisocial, you go through moments where you feel at peace, you go through moments of sadness, you start just experiencing all kinds of emotions, and sometimes you can dwell on certain emotions more than others because you realize that this person was accusing you of all the things that they were doing to you. And even when they were gaslighting you and you even had proof, you would question them and they would lie to your face, and you were almost in shock. How can someone know that I'm onto them and still lie? How can someone commit a crime against me and continue to lie, and not just lie to me, lie to other people, right? And not just lie, but try to destroy me. What kind of person would try to destroy someone based off of the lies they told, based off of being able to see through the fog? And how could they laugh at me when I'm able to see through the fog? How could they treat me like they hate me, like they're disgusted with me, like I'm beneath them? How can this person feel above me and feel like they're God and they won? How could they feel this way and actually walk off feeling like they were the good person and all the imperfections about you were the reason that they had to treat you the way that they treated you? How could someone be that boastful? How could they accuse you of all the things that they had been doing? And the moment you question them, hey, are you doing these things? Now you're questioning them and you're insecure. How could they beg for forgiveness? How could they shed tears to you to gain your trust back? And then just shift completely to who you knew they were initially and basically make it seem like, hey, it's not a big deal. You'll move on from this. All I did was accuse you of things that I was doing and you caught me, and hey, that's part of life, and people move on. I see it all the time. They're looking around. They're like, my sibling, they got played. My mother, my dad left her. People get played all the time. And you're almost kind of in shock because you're almost like, well, everyone who does bad things, they have to suffer the consequences of it, right? But the narcissist is like, no, we don't. I just got away with it over and over and over again. You're negative. You're trying to wish bad on me. They become the victim, and you're almost like, you're basically in this endless cycle arguing with a person that you cannot change, and they'll tell you, you won't be able to change me. And you're like, how can someone be that deep rooted in that type of evil, and all you were good to them? You always had their back. And you can look at it as they did something greater to you than what you've ever dished out. Maybe you've gotten mad, maybe you've done certain things, but you feel like it was almost like a train reaction to the things that they were doing. But the power of also understanding that this person might have done this to other people puts you in a position where now you're aligning with the frequency of someone that you shouldn't even had helped. You don't know that because no one has ever brought you to that low frequency. So this is why when you deal with narcissists, your life is never the same, because you saw the true meaning of evil. And if you don't understand it and you're still around these people and you don't realize how low they can lower your frequency to the point where they change your physical form, they change who you are, who you were initially, right? Not like you're a transformer or anything, but they change your identity. You become someone else. And this version of you might even be in survival mode, especially when you're discarded. So you might even start doing things that you would normally not do. You might feel like you have to lie your way into certain situations because you don't want people to know what you've been through, or you don't really want to you don't want to be honest about who you are, what you've been through with people. And maybe people ask you questions and you dodge their questions, but you don't understand that the lie itself will make you a liar. And when things don't work out, you don't even realize, you feel like, oh, I've been doing everything perfect. I'm not obligated to tell the truth to people anymore. You don't realize that by telling the truth, it shows that you don't have anything to hide. It's when you're lying or you're acting almost like your stories aren't making sense, or you're being too private. It brings suspicion. And people might think that you're the liar, you know. People will start asking you more and more questions because they feel like, hey, everything's going to come to light. Your past, what you've been through, I want to know things about you, right? But you don't realize that you were better off not telling the lie and telling the truth, which is, hey, I don't want to share that with you, right? Because what happens is that as an empath, you become paranoid when you've dealt with a narcissistic person because you know how they move. So you become paranoid when it comes to people. You're mistrusting of people. You almost feel like everyone's out to get you. And that's how the narcissist feels, because you're carrying on their frequency and they try to take off with your energy, right? But yet it's your energy. They know once you understand your own energy and what they did, they know that you can transform your energy, and that energy that the narcissist leaves you with will now be back projected onto them. all the gaslighting, it'll go back onto them, right? And now, no matter how good they are to the next person, that energy is coming back to them times 3. So now they have to start lying again. So as an empath, it's very important that when a narcissist is accusing you of all the things that they are doing to you, that you become aware of it. You become aware that the smallest lies will always come to light. You know, I'm saying that from experience, because they will bring you at a low frequency where you might feel like you're doing the right thing. You might feel like you're not bothering anyone. You might feel like when you say something, it's not like you feel like I'm not doing anything to hurt somebody, but you're actually hurting yourself, whether you are aware of it or not. So you'll sometimes, you'll just look at it like, oh, it's not a big deal. But the reason a lot of empaths do this is because, like I said, when you leave a narcissist, you're paranoid because someone came into your life and you were an honest person when you were with them, right? You told them the truth. You were open. You were an open book, right? You were an open book. Whatever question they asked, you answered. But you're not thinking in your head, this person has bad intentions or they're going to use everything I said against me. You walk through the world with jobs or friends, family, always being truthful, always speaking your heart, and then wondering why hate comes out of certain people, or why do people want to do certain things when you're honest or truthful. And then you also realize that sometimes you might have told the truth too much, where it wasn't your position to even say anything, right? Sometimes you're the one who might feel like you want to bring the truth to light about certain things that you know that it wasn't your position to do so. You might have not known at the moment, right? You might have felt like you were helping a friend even, right? But then you realize that it backfired on you. And you might feel like, oh, I was a good friend to this person. I'm the victim. But you don't realize that it wasn't up to you. It wasn't your duty to expose that to that person, right? It wasn't your duty to do so. So then you realize how when certain things happen to you, other narcissists will click up, strangers will click up with the narcissist while the narcissist is publicly humiliating you. Other people will even jump in like demons, right? Because they're all on the same frequency. And you don't realize as well that certain people, they don't help you, right? Certain people, they just act like that don't got nothing to do with me. And, I don't want to involve myself. And you might think, oh, no one wanted to help me. What happened to humanity? But some of those people might be aware of energy and they might be energy drained. They might be going through something. So you also have to be aware that, hey, I could be in certain situations where nobody wants to get involved because they don't want that energy to follow them, because they feel like if that energy is surrounding you, it's surrounding you for a reason. You must be doing something. You must be with this man that you know is bad and you don't want to leave. So certain people will protect their energy to a very extent, right? And obviously, in certain instances, when you're supposed to help. But there also comes a point in time where you realize in certain situations, the empath was always trying to help even when you weren't supposed to help. So when you come across the narcissist, they're mad at you for helping them because you're not aware that you're not supposed to be helping them. They share certain things with you that are red flags and you're not catching it. So to them, they feel like you're just as bad as them. And it's a really twisted thing, because the reason being is that when someone is accusing you of all the things that they are doing to you, this person is a liar. The king of lies, the queen of lies. This person is a liar. So they look at it like it doesn't matter how good you try to be. You did things that you might have thought in the moment were good. You weren't trying to, you might have really not thought you hurt anyone, right? Or something you did could have impacted someone's life. I've seen it where people, will help someone and say, "Oh, go leave your husband." They leave that person and now they're homeless, and that person doesn't want to help them after they're giving them advice to leave, but don't even have a plan B for that person so that they can sustain life until they're prepared. It wasn't their time. They might have, their duty might have just been bringing that person to the awareness of narcissism, not to tell that person what they should do with their life. You can have an opinion, but you can't tell someone, "Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. You're going to go to hell if you don't do this and go to church," all these things, right? You'll see that certain people do things and it seems like there's good intentions behind it. So when the narcissist feels like they've given you enough information that you should know what evil is, and you're not aware of it, and now they're showing you evil, they're calling you names, they're doing certain things that it doesn't come from God, that is their cue to keep destroying you. They feel like, "Oh, well, that's my duty here. This is what I'm here in your life for anyway. So I'm here to get what I want and to show you things that you aren't aware of." But they're doing it almost knowingly. That's where the gaslighting is coming from, because now they're accusing you of all the things. See, the devil works that way. It's in plain sight. It's meant to confuse you. So you're looking at it like, well, why couldn't you just stop? Because the devil is hard to resist. It's hard to be good. It's easy to talk about it and raising your frequency and being a good person. And you can listen to a lot of people, but guess what? We're human. We're sinners. And we could do our best to be a good person, right? We could be good 95% of the time. But that 1%, that 4%, that 5% can kill you and you don't even know. That white lie you told can backfire on you. It'll keep you in a loop of lies to the point where you're paranoid and you don't trust anyone. And it doesn't matter if that person's looking you in your eyes and you're telling the narcissist, "I'm not cheating on you, I'm not doing anything." They don't believe you. Their lies have grew so much that they do not believe you. And when they don't believe you, you're almost like kind of shocked, because their emotions seem very real, but they don't make sense. And if you are trying to bring that awareness to them, guess what's going to happen? They get mad, and now they're almost looking at you like you're the narcissist, and you're almost, it can't be me because I'm not lying. I know I'm not lying. This person is accusing me of things. They must be doing it. So now if you're bringing it, if you're becoming aware of it, the narcissist will say, "You're lying." The narcissist, they might even avoid you. They might say, "Oh, this person's catching on to me. I'm just going to avoid them completely." Because they're not going for it. So I'm gonna just discard myself, because I can't live with my own lies. My lies, everything is catching up to me. This person might do something to me if they figured me out. So they hoover you. They're like, "Hey, you still mad about what happened between us and this and that? And you shouldn't have said this to me. You shouldn't have said that to me. We could have been cool if you just wouldn't have questioned me about this." And when you take them back, they're like, "Okay, this person still doesn't know I'm manipulating them." This person still doesn't understand that I'm a wicked person. I accused them of all the things that I'm doing, and they said, hey, it must be you who's doing these things to me. They shouldn't even want to talk to me anymore. But look, I'm able to get them to answer the phone. I came up to their job. I came to their home. I called their family member. I brought them flowers. Look, all I had to do was love bomb them. And they're back to just acting like they don't remember that I lied. Now I'm gonna do my ritual. I'm gonna sacrifice this person. I'm gonna get into their soul. I'm gonna be intimate with them. I'm gonna sleep with them. I'm gonna erase their memory from even having the understanding that, hey, all the things I've been accused of, it's been them. Every time I bring it up to them that it's them, they're saying it's me. I must be doing something. If I must be doing something because I'm so insecure. And they don't stop. They keep going with the lie. They keep going on and on. They keep yapping away. As long as you let them keep talking, they're going to keep talking lies to you, getting you mad, frustrating you, raising your freaking blood pressure and lowering your frequency. They're going to keep going on and on and on. And then they're going to say, okay, well, someone else would appreciate me if you don't want to be with me. There's plenty of people that still want to be with me. There's plenty of people from the past that I could be with. I could be with my ex-wife. I could be with my mother of my children. I could be with my ex-girlfriend, boyfriend, my ex-fiance, So now they're gaslighting you after you've caught on that they've been gaslighting you. And now they're like, if you're assuming that I'm gaslighting and you don't trust me, then I might as well leave. Because you don't believe my lie. They're mad. You don't believe my lie, so I'm done. And it's to the point where you're like, well, maybe they're not lying. For someone to get this irrational and mad and even, lash out, even put their hands on you, steal from you, destroy things, go and tell people that they're the victim and they've been nothing but good to you. And the way they talk with so much, almost like they have empathy, like, oh, this person's hurting me, like it's you, right? You're the problem in their life. But they came to you. You have to think about it. When someone is accusing you of things that they are doing to you, but they're the ones who came to you initially. They're the ones who stuck around to stick around, hoovering you, trying to gain forgiveness over and over again. That's what the hoover is. It's forgive me for my lies. Even though it's going to eventually affect you, because you should be aware of the lie. You should know that you shouldn't be helping me. So it's going to affect you. And when you start feeling crazy like me, I'm going to make you feel crazier because I'm going to put all this energy on you. I'm going to dump all this on you. All this shit, all this garbage, all this baggage. So now they pretend to be something that they're not. They're smiling in your face. They're acting like everything is good. And they were jealous of you, but they want you to be jealous of them. Every feeling that they felt towards you initially that you didn't even know they felt towards you, but you had an idea. You felt like this person wanted you 6 feet under. Now they're trying to invoke those same feelings into you, and it gives them satisfaction. Oh, you need to get a life. Oh, you need to find a hobby. Oh, you need to do this. You need to do that. Oh, you're low frequency. Oh, you have bad energy. Now they're accusing you of being all the things that they are, and they're imitating your light to you. They're reflecting to you what you've been to them, but not really, because who you are wouldn't even do the things that they're doing. So the light that they're trying to imitate, they can't imitate it to you because you know it's not them. So they'll imitate that light to other people. The reason being is because they're lying to themselves. For you to imitate someone else's light to others after you've destroyed someone, you're imitating light to others because you are not light. You are not God. You are not with God. So that is not your light. So they'll imitate that light to others. They'll start telling people that you did to them what they did to you. Oh, my ex did this, my ex did that, my ex kept accusing me of things and it was her doing things the whole time. My ex did this, she cheated, she played me, she did this. They won't talk about what they've done to others. They won't say, they will never tell you fully. And if they tell you, it's like kind of like brushed off. Like, oh yeah, I've done this, I've done stuff to people, but I changed my life. And then but they're not telling you that all they're doing is running from their karma and projecting the light of others to gain supply so that people can see them in a certain light. And once that person sees them that way, the narcissist will feel like, oh, I fooled this person and it's time. And now they feel like any parts of you belongs to them. They feel like anything you work for, anything that's yours could be theirs. What's yours is theirs. And because they feel like now, if I was able to get into your life, then I'm actually better than you. But they're conning their way into people's lives. So now the gaslighting begins. Right? Now the gaslighting begins. Now the accusations of everything that they're doing or they plan on doing starts to come out, and that person's questioning, why would you say something like that to me? Oh, I just said that to hurt you. Why would you want to hurt someone for no reason? Because you're a liar. So when narcissists are accusing you of things that you know you're not doing, and you feel like you got to prove something to that person, and they come at you like victims, almost like, oh, well, my ex did this to me, so I'm thinking you're doing the same thing, right? You're like, why would you accuse me of something I'm not doing? Oh, well, my ex used to say the same thing, but she did certain things to me. He did certain things to me. So this person is accusing you of doing certain things, and it's disguised as them being a victim. Like, oh, it's like when you as an empath, you're kind of like don't trust people, you're mistrusting because someone lied to you over and over again, right? So you're almost like you feel like you have to stay to yourself so that you can be able to observe and trust your own judgment. So you almost feel like, oh, this person is just like me. You know what I'm saying? They're just like me. That's what makes you connect to them, is because they've been around empaths. That's who they're stealing life source from. So you feel that instant connection, not because of who they are, but the energies that they're carrying from others. So that's the instant connection to the narcissist, is the fact that the stories that they tell or the things that they say make them seem like someone who's been through a lot and they want better, they want healthier relationships, and those are the things that the empath will want after leaving the narcissist. So all they're doing is gaslighting you into thinking that that's who they are. That's, oh, people didn't want me to be better. People wish bad on me. And when they speak these things, they truly believe it. That's the scary part. They truly believe it. But a part of them in the back of their head They know they're full of crap. You know how sometimes you'll think, like, especially in the beginning of your spiritual awakening, you'll think that certain narcissists, maybe they don't know that they're narcissists. Maybe they don't know what they're doing. At some point of your life, you're going to know right from wrong, and you might know that something is wrong, you know, and or you might lash out and you might be impatient, or you're having a bad day, and then you realize, oh, I shouldn't have did that, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't. You feel a sense of guilt because you know it wasn't your place. You know that you were reacting out of emotion. So what you come to know about the narcissist is that they were functioning off of emotion from the start. They were always an emotional person, but that emotion is what fooled you to think, well, if they're an emotional person, they might be just like me, but they're emotional because they're running from their lies. They're emotional, they have anxiety, they're paranoid, they're accusing others of things, they're boastful, arrogant, all those things that it says on the Bible, right? They have hate towards the people around them. They have hate towards their own family. And a lot of times you understand what it's like for everyone to be projecting hate towards one another. But as an empath, you're always wishing for love. You're always wishing, why can't we love? Why can't we you're seeking for connection. But it's hard to connect with others when you got people lying all the time. And even people that think that they're good civilians, they go to work, they do the right things all the time, they're lying to themselves too. They're lying when they go out and attack someone that they work with, and they're lying to themselves that they're the best worker when you're speaking up on other people and putting yourself in a position where you're getting people fired because you feel like you're working harder than anyone else, right? So you got people that do things that do the smallest things to people that can affect people's lives. But because they feel like, hey, I'm a good person. I help my friend change his tire. I'm this, I'm that. I go to work every day. I'm not doing drugs. I'm not out there in the streets doing dumb shit. I'm not sleeping with different women. I'm married and I'm faithful to my wife. But if you go out into the world and you lie about certain things, or you do certain things, or you're throwing people under the bus, then you're no better. No matter if you have a degree, you're no better than anyone else. Because we're all spirits having human experiences. So what you do to others, you're doing to yourself. And that's the craziest part when you understand that, and you see a lot of narcissists who they've done shit to you, right? It's kind of like bumping into people from your past, even your childhood. They'll look at you, they won't say anything, but they get a glimpse of what they did to you that was wrong. And they won't say anything to you, but it's in the back of their head. Oh, I did this to this person. I was mean to this person. But I'm not going to say anything because it's in the past, right? So things might have happened to them. They might have went through betrayal in their life. And they're only worried about the betrayal that happened to them in their life. But they don't care about that person. They say, oh, it's in the past. I did this to this person. I was mean to them. But that was in our childhood. It doesn't count. It does count. It always counts. Asking for forgiveness, forgiving, that shit always counts. And that's what people don't understand. That's what narcissists don't understand. At some point, you're going to realize that everything has a cause and effect. And you realize that those type of people are lying to themselves. And then you will be the witness of it, because you have to experience these things to understand them. And you also have to understand that they are not a part of you. What they do does not belong. Their energy has nothing to do with you. At some point, you're going to realize you have to protect your energy, because that's what makes these people crazy. That's what makes them paranoid. That's what makes them, they never have a true, you know what I'm saying? Like what I notice about a lot of these narcissists, like they could talk a good game, but there's going to be moments where the stuff that's common sense isn't common. Or there's going to be moments where they're looking at certain people like they're evil and they're narcissists, but it's really them who's the narcissist, and that person's actually a good person. So their discernment is bad. Sometimes you'll notice that you have to say certain things to them or bring them aware that they said something or did something that was the cause of what happened to them backfire. It's almost like you're almost bringing awareness of their own karma, right? And sometimes they actually appreciate you. That's the crazy part. Sometimes they actually appreciate, because they know you were the voice of God. But they're not going to give you credit because they think they are God. They think they can be a step ahead of God. That's what they're doing. But they don't know that they can't be a step ahead of God, because God knows their next steps and the steps ahead of those steps. And God knows how he's going to come back around full circle so that you can understand certain lessons, because it's your own sinful nature of wanting to do what's bad. And, you know, when you're not aware of certain frequencies, you'll get by through life. But when you become aware, it's going to hit you harder. So what happens with these narcissists, why they accuse you of all the things that they're doing, is because they're at a point where they know their lies always catch up to them. They know that they have to pay the price. They know that they're basically so self-aware. This is why you can have conversations with them, and they can talk in circles to where you might even be able to put your guard down because you feel like they're just like you. They have good conversation, but you're not aware that some of these people will sneak up on you. A lot of times you could feel their energy, and then sometimes they can actually sneak up on you because they've been getting fuel. They've been getting fuel, so they don't have the desperation of lying to you every couple of minutes, right? So they might be on a roll because they're energy vampires. So the narcissists, they become so self-aware of what they're doing that they know that it's going to manifest either identically to what they've done, or it might manifest in a different way. So when it happens, instead of them feeling stupid, really, they get angry. The emotions don't even make sense. You're dealing with an emotional person that they're irrational. Their emotions don't even add up because they're so egotistical that they can't even take accountability that it's happening for a reason. They know it's happening, but they're denying God's power. They're like, no, right? It can't be because of this. They think that everyone lives like this, like it's normal shit. Because a lot of people are sinners. And the narcissist feels like everyone does bad shit. And it's because that people's sinful nature does drive them to do bad things. But the narcissist's mistake is also believing that people don't get their karma. So they get to thinking, oh, I'm not going to get my karma. And when they become conscious that they do get their karma, they like the idea of being the bad man. They like the idea of being a bad woman. So they listen to music. They listen to music that it's like putting a spell on them, a deeper spell They're attracted to low frequency things. They're indulging in sex. They're indulging in many different things that are sinful based off of their traumas and their past stories, or things that they weren't aware of, or things that are even generational. And they feel like they might have to do certain things to break those generational curses, and it comes to a point where they're aware of what they have to do, but they think they could take the easy way out. And the easy way out will always expose those demons. So when they're exposed, they're like a man child throwing a tantrum. They're mad they didn't get their way again. The guilt is also killing them, but they don't look at it as guilt. They will try to convert the guilt into anger. So this is why you'll see them angry. They're angry. They're accusing you of things. They're upset. Blaming you for things that they were the ones that got caught doing. So the anger is actually guilt. The lashing out, the withholding affection, the withholding accountability, it's all meant to try to drop that energy off on you, because you've woken this person up. They're angry. The more you expose them, the angrier they get, because they almost feel like, I'm going against karma. I'm upset at myself because I can't get out of this bad karma. I don't know how to stop lying. I don't feel like I have the tools to be what you want me to be what anybody wants me to be. I don't even know who I am. It's like you're dealing with a lost soul. A lost soul that forgot its own identity and now wants you to forget your own identity. And that's where the gaslighting comes from. That's where the accusing you of things that they are doing comes from. The shame, the spirit unable to take accountability, the spirit going against God. It's like this person is trapped, right? It's like you're trying to shake up those demons and give them an exorcism, and it's talking back to you, and it's saying things to put you down. It's bringing up your worst fears. It's bringing up your past. It's trying to make you feel like you might as well not exist in this world. It's very demonic, to where it could bring you down so bad that it will lead you the wrong path, right? They're trying to break your soul because they feel like theirs was broken, and they feel like they didn't deserve what happened to them. But every time they're getting blessings or get blessed with good people, they turn around and start exploiting those people instead of showing that they've learned true forgiveness for their past and they've evolved. So the fact that they will treat someone like this is showing that they haven't forgiven their past. They'll claim that they have while they're with you, but you'll see moments where they spaz out. And you kind of understand it because you get to a point where you forgive the narcissist, but there's moments where certain things you might be reminded of certain things, or you might feel like they took certain things away from you that you feel like you came to peace with. But sometimes if you feel enough pain, it'll open up those wounds, and it'll make you feel like you're losing out on something, So the reason I know this is because I feel like when I left the narcissist, I changed as a person. I wasn't so trusting and so open with people like I once was, because I feel like that's what led me there. And I also realized that I probably was around a lot of narcissists and wasn't aware of it, but I knew bad things would happen to me. But I also was aware that all the people that had done bad things when I wasn't aware of it, they got their karma back. But they were portraying to be victims. And I'm like, they don't even know how badly that affected me when they did that. And now they're talking about they've been betrayed by their best friend or their, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, that's what you did to me. So I started to see that narcissists accuse others of what they are. You know, if they feel some type of guilt, insecurities, past trauma, things that they deal with in society with people that they might be targeted by, they might feel like everyone is like that, right? They start going through experiences where what one person did, or if it reminds them of something, that person has to be just like that person, when you could be highly mistaken because you haven't done the work. So these people haven't done the work. That's why they will always gaslight others. They haven't done the work. They will target you even for reasons where they might feel like a group of people attack them and now you remind them of them. So they get with you as a friendly friend, as a partner, and you don't know that there's this animosity towards you deep down inside. They're jealous, they're envious. They feel like everything those people did to them, they're going to take it out on you. You're not thinking that, but that's what they're thinking. They know it's wrong, but they don't have eyes to see. They're soulless. They can't see because that spirit needs to be fed. That spirit has been living in sin for a long time. That spirit needs an exorcism performed on it. You know, so this is why the narcissist will continue to accuse people of things. You don't do something that they like, they're going to jump up and say something. They're going to put you on a category. They're going to assume things about you, tell you who you are. This is why they tell you who you are, and you're like, that's not even who I am. Yes, you are. You're like this. They gather data and compare the data to the people that have hurt them, to the people that they've hurt. You know, you show them any signs of weakness, they're like, oh, you're showing me signs of this person that I hurt and I never apologized and I thought things were going to be great with you, but I see that you have feelings and it's reminding me of the guilt that I feel for the last person and the person before that and last. So now I'm going to go off on you because I feel like you're going to try to hurt me. That's what you're getting from narcissists constantly on an everyday basis, no matter where you go. And this is why even certain people will even treat you a certain way, but then when you speak and they hear how you talk and they hear how you present yourself, this is why now your value increases, because you have to give yourself value when you're going out into this world, because narcissists are trying to place value on you, on who you are, and they're trying to present that by projecting their past experiences on you. That's why it's very important to know who you are. It's very important to be paying attention to what people are saying. Be very careful when people are giving you advice but they're talking about themselves, but deep down they're only talking about themselves and they're telling white lies. They're only talking about themselves because really they're talking about you. They're trying to make you listen to them, and you're listening to them, and they're trying to make you talk more. They're trying to get you to start speaking about yourself so that they can say, I knew that's who you were. That's the idea of you that I had. And that's not even who you are. It's just that that's the subject that they're on. and they're trying to compare themselves to you. But then something shifts in them where they might initially come at you feeling like doing nice deeds for you is going to give them some type of good karma for what they've done to others. This is why they do the good deeds. But then the hate is going to come back because you haven't done the work. So you're always going to be gaslit. The narcissist will always accuse you of who they are. You know, they'll start talking to you. Oh, you know, they might leave something in your car by accident. You don't even know it's there. Now hey, I know you saw my item. You might not answer their call because you're doing something. They're going to call you back over and over again. They don't know you're doing something you can't pick up. You're planning on calling them, but you're in the midst of something. Now they're leaving voicemails. I know you saw this item. You know you saw it. You could have gave it back to me. Oh, can you bring it right now? It's like they have this energy where they almost think you want to steal from them, and you're like, I'm not even a fucking thief. Like, I'll bring you your little cheap shit real quick. I don't care. I'm not a thief. Because they're accusing you of who they are. They probably steal. So you got to pay attention to people when they do and say certain things. Sometimes they know they can't accuse you of things, but then they start talking in circles where they're talking about something, and then they'll start, it's almost like they're talking in secret code, like maybe like you're suspicious, like you're the suspicious one. They're speaking in codes like, if you don't catch this, you're the narcissist. But it's really them. They're trying to accuse you of what they are because you're watching it play out and you're almost shocked because you're like, this person thinks I'm tripping, but it's them. But I think in their heart, they really believe that shit. It's because they're a liar. They might think that they tell white lies, but those white lies will grow to another lie, to another lie, to another lie. And I know this because after dealing with the narcissist, I'm not perfect. And I know that certain things I have to go through to even understand them. Because you'll carry a lot of hate. It'll be very hard to forgive them. But God will test you, right, in many ways. And I remember when I left the narcissist, you know, rebuilding my life was hard. It was very, very hard. It felt like I've said in many videos, I was literally like out walking like a zombie, looking into the sky, just like wondering what the hell happened to my life. How could someone come and like, just like, it's like a fucking tornado. You know what I'm saying? You weren't expecting the tornado, and then they leave and all your shit is everywhere. Your house fell apart. So it's like they mess up your dynamic, right? Your identity. I start feeling like I can't tell the truth. Like when people ask me certain questions, I felt like I can't tell the truth. So I would feel like I had to lie instead of just having boundaries. Having boundaries doesn't mean lying. Having boundaries means I don't feel comfortable answering that for you. You're not lying. You're just being blunt, as uncomfortable as it is. But I think sometimes because you're uncomfortable saying things, because you're afraid of others' reaction, you don't realize that people will respect you more for your boundaries than telling a white lie, right? So, or you're trying to throw someone off completely, but shit comes to light, right? So I felt like, you know, I'm going to tell a little white lie. It's not going to be a big deal. Like, I'm not even a liar, right? I don't lie. I just really need this because shit is not happening for me fast enough. You don't even realize that sometimes opportunities are taken away. Sometimes shit is just going really slow. The years are going and you want shit fast. You want to rebuild your life fast, but you realize if you're with a narcissist for years, you can't expect your life to just completely be a 360 right away. It might look good at first, and then something might happen, and you're like, damn, I thought shit was looking up. Something happened. You're supposed to go through that. You're supposed to know what that feels like so you can understand how the narcissist functioned like that for so long. And you will realize, I don't want to be like that. I got to keep moving forward, but I'm not going to do it with exploiting someone else. But that was part of the lesson. Just thinking, oh, shit's going to get better, and then something just happens. You know what I'm saying? That's part of the lesson of, and it hurts, right? It crushes you. So that feeling of being crushed when you were looking up to achieve something and it doesn't happen for you, that feeling of being crushed, we might have always worked for the things we wanted, and because we weren't liars, we didn't have bad energy, the type of energy that the narcissist brought around, we didn't know that feeling, how crushing it is, right? So you go through things where shit don't work out, that feeling of being crushed, you're like, oh, that's what they feel. But I'm not going to do what they did. I'm not going to lie because I'm better than that. When you have that mentality, that's what the narcissist hated about you even back then. Because they've been stuck in that loop for a long time, in that cycle. And some people stay like that their whole life, and you realize that. So they also some of them envy you because they know they're forever they know they're going to die that way. What type of hell is that? You know what I'm saying? And you don't realize that even if you don't have a lot, to them, they look at you like you got more energy than me. You got more lifespan than me. I'm doing everything that's going to take me to my grave. That's why they don't care about bringing you down, killing you off, even killing themselves. They'll hurt themselves trying to hurt you. You got to think about that. So the first thing, I'm telling you this because I was self-aware when I told this lie to myself, right? I was self-aware and I felt like I wasn't hurting anybody. I was like, the narcissist brought me at a low frequency. They fucked up my life, a lot of opportunities, but I didn't realize, I got to pay for that, right? So I'm like, maybe I can lie my way in. I'm going to just lie and say that this period that I wasn't working because of all the shit I was going through with the narcissist. And I felt like they brought me down. They literally they gaslight you so much that now you can't think straight. You're not normal. You can't function in your job anymore. They're constantly accusing you of cheating. Oh, you're working with your coworkers and they're like, oh, you must be having an affair with your boss. You're getting all these false accusations. They're calling you at work just to argue with you on your lunch break. It's just weird, right? You don't realize you got to pay for your part in being around this person because we victimize ourselves like, oh, they were mean to me. They did this to me. They brought anxiety in my life. But there's a lesson. So once you understand the lesson about these people, how to stay away from them, their energy, they're not in heaven, they're in hell. So you realize that. So you're going to want to get your life back quick. And sometimes you're supposed to actually be meditating on everything that happened. But I was such in a rush to want to move on, right? But I knew, hey, this is stopping me because these jobs my dream job, they keep asking, what was I doing in this period of time? So instead, I'm gonna just act like this little period, I never got fired or I never quit, right? I'm gonna act like everything was just fine. I just want a fresh start. I just want something better. You're so quick to want to go and get something better. But I knew the moment I never had to lie about stuff like that, right? So when I left, I felt like I gotta lie. So now I'm doing something that the narcissist does all the time. But I felt like I had to. I felt like I'm not hurting anybody. I just want to work. I just want to be able to take care of myself, whatever, right? So I'm thinking, oh, it's not a big deal. But The moment that I got the job, I felt guilty. I had this feeling of guilt. I was like, I don't deserve this shit. It could be somebody else's that didn't lie. You know what I'm saying? I just felt this guilt. From the moment I got hired, I was just guilt. I didn't feel right. I felt like it wasn't for me. And I was like, oh, that's what the narcissist feels, that guilt. And then I had this feeling of my lie is going to come to light. I just had this feeling like my lie is going to come to light because I'm well aware that I lied. You know what I'm saying? I lied to myself. I'm well aware of it. But then there's that voice, that evil voice that's like, but you're not hurting anybody. You're just doing what you got to do, right? But God, the voice of God was more powerful, and the voice of God was like, you're going to lose it because you already know better. You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't lie. You know what's a lie. So I said, oh, that's what the narcissist feels. Then I got my karma back, but it didn't come the way I thought it would. I thought that my lie would be exposed, but it came in a different way to where I basically couldn't make it to the job, right? And I said, oh, wow, shit. I'm not even mad because I know that karma is real, and all it's teaching me is to let go of what I thought. Because, you know, the narcissist leaves you fucked, and then they go off looking like, oh, I got a better job now. Oh, I did this. I got with this new supply. So you're almost start competing. So then what I realized in that moment was, oh, evil people are competing with other evil people. It's better to just go slow and steady and just do whatever God wants you to be, because it's not about money. It's about where you're supposed to be at in life. It's about the journey. It's about who's around you. Who do you need to help? Who needs guidance? Who needs motivation? Who can you give light to? Who is willing to hear you out? Who needs it? That's really what it's about. So I realized, okay, slow and steady, you know? I think a part of us, the narcissist gives us, is when they're accusing you of all the things that they did and then they get away with it, they give you this illusion that they get away with shit. So you'll go through such periods of times where you feel like, I'm done being good. But then when you do the wrong thing, you realize, no, this ain't the life I want to live. Fucking going from one lie to another lie to another lie. The lies don't stop. And you know that's not you. You're a peaceful person. You don't like lying. You don't feel comfortable lying. You don't feel comfortable people looking at you in your eyes and you're looking at them in their eyes lying. Like, you don't feel comfortable lying to yourself. And then you also know that in that moment, I knew I'm not even mad because I already felt like I didn't deserve it. And I'm not going to take it out on nobody but myself, because it should be me, right? But no, I was well aware of that. I was well aware. I felt like something going to happen just because I lied. And it didn't come with them exposing me. It just came in a different way. But I knew it was because of the lie to begin with, right? So a part of me is like mad because I'm like, I could almost taste what I wanted, but I also knew I didn't deserve it. So imagine all the times narcissists, they get their bad karma and they don't learn. And they're mad because they're like, oh, I got a taste of it. I got a taste of it. I gotta become more wicked. I gotta become more cunning. I gotta become more manipulative. So me right there and then, I almost felt like I understood the feelings, but it's still not who I am, right? I'm willing to take accountability. But I understood what that narcissist must feel. And I said, that's hell. That's fucking hell in the mind. Right? And then to keep making up lies and excuses to why shit didn't play out the way you wanted it to. to victimize yourself. It's crazy. And then when things do start going your way because you're love bombing and pretending you're good, and then now you're shitting on the person that believed your lies, and then when things backfire on you, you start accusing that person knowing what damn well it's you. And then you're carrying all this guilt that's manifesting into hate. And now the manifestation of hate is it's at such a high, low frequency that you hate everybody. And then you hate everybody to the point where you think you're better than everybody. To the point where you think you can control and manipulate everyone and still come out on top because you feel like everyone is stupid. You think everybody's asleep. So the level of severe delusion and mental illness in narcissists is very deep, right? So I realized, I felt a little bit angry. I was more angry at myself. But then, you know what happened to me too that was crazy? I knew I was in the wrong. But then all of a sudden, I experienced a shift of paranoia. Like, well, maybe it's not me. Because it's not like I'm really doing anything wrong. I'm not trying to hurt anyone. But I know it's wrong. I know I shouldn't lie at all, period. But for a second, it was like this little paranoia came over me. And I was like, what if someone did this on purpose so that I wouldn't, just the paranoia came, right? And I said, oh, shit. I said, oh, so this is what narcissists feel when they lie, the paranoia. Because the paranoia from my own lie made me paranoid. And I was, like I said, because lying has never been a thing to me. When I finally did lie, I felt bad. It's like when you're with a narcissist and they try to get you to do something that you typically wouldn't do. So you just feel these feelings all the time. Like you're like, I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. Or you have a narcissist friend and they're like, hey, put this shit on your purse. Or, hey, I'm going to take extra food. And you're like, oh, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't be greedy and take everything. Just take a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So when you see certain things done, there's this discomfort feeling, right? Where it's like, you shouldn't have took all that. You should have shared. But your greed took over you, and then you justified your actions with saying, oh, well, my kids need to eat. Oh, well, these people probably have more food than me, right? So people just lie all the time, and then they justify their actions with, oh, these people have more than me. Oh, but a lie is a lie, a thief is a thief. Everything you do will come back. So guess what? When someone comes and takes the last of your food, of you and your children, and it's the man you were sleeping with, then you only have yourself to blame. And then people won't think about the shit that they did before because they didn't think it was a big deal. So people's karma a lot of times comes back times 3. So I experienced this little paranoia where I was like, no, girl, I know exactly what's happening. It's more of, you told a lie, you were deserving of the lie, but you almost can't believe that the karma came back. So you're going against God, you're going against karma, and you're angry, and because you don't know where to direct your anger towards, it becomes paranoia. Now you're paranoid. So me understanding being around a narcissist for so long, that experience helped me understand them, and it really made me feel sorry for them because I'm like, damn, these people spend their whole life lying. And it's like, how can you not understand the lesson? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times the empath, when you leave the narcissist gives you the illusion that they don't get their karma. So it'll make you feel like, I'm going to start being bad. I'm going to start treating people bad. I'm going to start not treating people bad, but I'm going to stop being nice to people. It's like they're trying to change your identity when you know you've always been nice to people. You've always been a people person. You've always been that person that just never judged anyone, who just loves being, being social, or, you don't have hate towards humans. You don't have negative energy towards anyone unless they bring it to you, right? But for the most part, you don't hate people for no reason or none of that. It's never been your style. It's never been your thing. So you realize the paranoia is what makes narcissists hate everybody. And then when the narcissist instills all this energy on you and goes off, it's to make you feel how they feel. And then what they want to do when they're with the new person is, oh, my ex is miserable. My ex wishes bad on me. I don't know. They're just miserable people. They want to keep you at a low frequency because they know the energies that are working against them. They're well aware of it. They're well aware of the energy, the protection you had. Now you'll project that onto others. I don't trust people. People are bad. Oh, you know what I'm saying? There's narcissists everywhere, and it's you lying to yourself, even accusing people of all being gang stalkers and narcissists, because you might have became the gang stalker. You might have some narcissistic traits that narcissist dumped on you, and you'll also realize that wasn't who you were initially before them, but you had to go through the bad. The only thing is that you have to become self-aware that it's an illusion. What the narcissist brings to the table is an illusion. You have to be able to listen to the voice of God, because if you don't and you keep rejecting God, and this is where you'll see that you can go through the same thing as certain friends, right? Your female friend, you go through the same thing, but you learn the lessons from it, and now she's with another narcissist. So that should be a lesson that, hey, this person portrays like she gets done wrong by narcissists, but she keeps going from narcissist to narcissist. So she's accusing him of being a narcissist, but she's the Jezebel spirit. So every man that she meets, she thinks is a narcissist. She's like paranoid, but it's her who's the Jezebel spirit. So this is how men get fooled too, because these women present themselves as victims of narcissist abuse, and they're mimicking the emotions that someone who has been through narcissist abuse will feel. But they are the polar opposite. They're causing you harm, but in their heads, they're not causing you any harm. They just don't want to suffer alone, because misery likes company, because they don't want to work on themselves. They're afraid to work on themselves. They need you to work on themselves. And then once they use you, now they're telling you what they initially felt about you, because their intentions were bad from the start. But playing you, when they play you, they're playing themselves, because you learned a lesson that they're not even on. You learned so many things that they can't even catch that drift yet. That's what almost makes you feel sorry for them, because they're trying to get to the top fast, but it's taking you, your family, everything is even generational sometimes. So this is where that deep hate for you even may come from. It's that the knowledge that is going to come from that experience is going to be the kind of knowledge that it's going to take them forever to even learn, So the lessons that they have to go through over and over again, you don't have to go through those lessons multiple times. Yeah, you might have been with this person for years, but all you needed was that one narcissist for you not to keep making the same mistake, where someone with a lower frequency They're going to keep going from person to person. And then the scary part is that they're going to think that they're the victim, but they keep choosing the same person over and over again. And then they're playing other people in the process who are good people, and they still see themselves as the victim. And that's part of the mental sickness, the spiritual warfare. They will mimic you. They will come at you like they made mistakes and they're changed people. But there's always going to be bad things happening, bad luck, or things that they do will always eventually come to light. And certain people will be able to decipher through what is happening in their life. They will be able to point things out about the narcissist right away without completely knowing the narcissist. So you will have the ability to do what the narcissist did to you by picking you out as an empath. They knew your power. So once you gain your power, you can actually see through a lot of these narcissists right away. And you will start to understand the battle of good and evil. And you will also realize that you are going to have to do good for yourself. You're going to have to walk in God's image, and you're going to realize that it's not as easy as it sounds. It's not easy. You're going to realize that you got a temper. You're going to realize that because of what others have done to you, you feel like you got to defend yourself. You realize that even when you gain enough strength to not react, you realize that some of those things that people say might hurt you. You might work on getting mentally strong to where when people say things, you don't even think about them anymore. As soon as the situation is over with, you're on to something else. You're not staying stuck in the past. You're living. You're alive. And you realize that a lot of those narcissists, they're not alive. They have an imitation. They're imitating what it feels like to be alive. Their feeling of peace is very short-lived because all they really wanted was to take a picture to look peaceful. All they wanted to do was have an imitation of happiness so that others can be mad. And that's not true happiness. These people will say, oh, I don't even want to think about the past and what I've done. I'm a new person. But they cannot get to the future if they don't go back to the past. So just you being aware of that, being accountable of your own actions is what leads you steps ahead of the narcissist. But what's going to keep you down is lying to yourself, and that's something that you don't want to do. Never lie to yourself. Admit when you're doing wrong. Admit when you come across certain situations where you realize you should have handled. You have to, every time you go through something, there's things to learn. And you're going to realize that how easy it is to repeat old habits. You're going to realize how hard it is to actually walk in the image of God. You know that it's possible. When you're at a high frequency, you can feel God. But you're going to see how the lower frequencies, how quickly they are able to pull you down, because they'll come for you. And eventually, when you fall, you realize, damn, I did it to myself. It's hard to be good. It's easy to say, oh, I've cut down on this. I don't do this anymore. I don't be with different people. You'll see that you understand that feelings come and go. But you'll realize that because you were in an emotional roller coaster with many narcissists for your whole life, your whole lifespan. Imagine, healing from narcissist abuse with a narcissist, but healing from a whole lifespan of abusing yourself, causing your own self-harm and your own self bad karma. You're going to realize that letting certain emotions just pass through you are going to be difficult because it'll catch you slipping. It'll catch you slipping. But the most important thing to know is that God isn't angry with you. God loves you. God understands that it's not easy to be perfect, but God wants you to see each lesson that he teaches you and to remember it, because it's going to happen again. And that's how you're going to evolve over and over again into a higher being. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing. I hope that this message on, the narcissist accuses you of all the things that they are doing to you was helpful. Share, comment, subscribe if you guys are new. If you guys want to book a session, my booking information is on the description. And as always, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.